All right, so it's about 24 hours later here on the nature coast of Florida. I just want to give you guys a look at the skies today. We're still waiting for Tropical Storm Helene to make its way to the Florida coast. That'll probably happen sometime in the next 24 hours, but I wanted to give you a peek of the sky. We've got a whole list of cruise ships that have changed their itinerary, and I got to tell you about this lady who got arrested after her cruise. Y'all, this is bad. This is a cruise nightmare, and I feel like it could happen to any of us. So yeah, cruise news and my views. Let's talk about it.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to La Lita Loca. I'm your host, Tony, here with the latest cruise news and views for your face. For your face on a Wednesday, the 25th of September, 2024. And it's a weird, eerie kind of vibe here in Spring Hill. We've all been watching the modeling of Tropical Storm Helene. We all accept the fact that it's going to turn into a hurricane. We just don't know the timing of it. Here's the latest projection that I've looked at. It's churning down there near Cozumel. And then at some point, it's going to make its move north, strengthening into a hurricane. And it's going to hit the Florida coast somewhere. Is it going to hit where we're at? Is it going to hit further north? I don't know. Even the hurricane last year, it looked like it was on a direct path to us. And then as it got into the Gulf, as it got into hurricane strength territory in the warmer waters, it made a weird turn to the, south. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll continue to watch it. Another 24 hours, we will know more, but it's certainly impacting cruises. I've got a whole list here, almost like the Snowbird report. If anybody, maybe we only had that in Nashville, but when there were school closings, we had a list of school closings. I've got a list of cruise ships that have been impacted by Helene. All of these itineraries changed, or they're not returning to the port of call where they were supposed to return. They're delayed coming back. They're going to stay at sea another day. If you're impacted by any of these cruise ships that I call out, maybe you're going on the next one or something like that, make sure you check with your cruise line to see exactly what's going on. But let's look at them by cruise line. Carnival, we have disruption to the Carnival Paradise, the Carnival Valor, the Carnival Breeze, the Carnival Horizon. Royal Caribbean, the Independence of the Seas, Mariner of the Seas, Serenade of the Seas, Wonder of the Seas, and the Grandeur of the Seas all impacted. MSC has a couple cruise ships, the Seascape and the Seashore. The Disney Fantasy is impacted, and the Virgin Voyages Valiant Lady. Those are just the ones I've been able to cull from all of the different postings. There's a lot of other cruise lines out there. You would think that things like Norwegian, Princess, other things have to be sailing in the Caribbean right now, I would think. So if you're going on a cruise at all over the next few days, especially out of Florida, make sure you check with your cruise line to see exactly what is going on. We continue to have good thoughts and prayers for everybody that potentially will be impacted by this storm, and we'll continue to watch it over the next 24 hours and see what happens. In addition to the big question of where the storm's going to hit, the other big question I've been struggling with this morning is what storm-related song would be most appropriate for the story? Would it be Riding the Storm Out, or would it be Riders on the Storm, boom, 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 boom? How about the ludicrous classic, Still I wonder, yet I wonder, who'll stop the rain? Or who'll stop Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson? I don't know. Weather, I guess that's what we're dealing with today. Just a quick update from yesterday's stories. Talked about the Icon of the Sea having challenges and they needed to cancel the cruise that was coming up this week. I said that they were having propulsion issues. I guess that hasn't been officially announced as the reason. I think the only thing that Royal Caribbean's saying officially is that they're having unplanned maintenance. Something's happened on that cruise ship that they need to take it to Miami and work on it. I think I used the word dry dock. They're not dry docking the ship. It's just going to be at a dock where they can work on it, and hopefully over the next week they will get the Icon of the Seas back to where it needs to be. But the big point that I was trying to make yesterday was it is wild that a ship that's only been sailing for 7 or 8 months is having this kind of issues. It goes to show you that, because of the complexity of cruising, sometimes that happens. I'm saying not only for the passengers, they have to be super disappointed, but also Royal Caribbean has to be super disappointed to lose a week's worth of revenue sailings and to have to give all this money away. Yeah, it's not good all the way around. All right, our next cruise news story is one of those cruise news stories that I find myself fairly passionate about. One of the biggest resistances or pushbacks to the cruise industry is its environmental profile. And so whether for, the good of the world or whether for profitability or whatever the reason, cruise lines have been making strides to change their environmental profile. And one of those things is around the concept of shore power. If you're unfamiliar with it, I'll give you the quick primer. When a cruise ship goes and docks at a cruise terminal, port of call, they have a couple options for generating power while they are docked at that port of call. Traditionally, they just run their engines. So you'll see a cruise ship in port with smoke billowing out of their smokestacks, out of the funnel. That's how they're keeping the ship going, generating power. But over, I don't know, in some places it's probably 20 years now, there's been an option to where the cruise ship can actually plug into the power grid of the port and use electricity that is generated by the port city. This is called shore power, and to get to shore power, a few things have to happen. The city has to build infrastructure and interface from the city power to the cruise ship, and there has to be a plug, right? So there has to be a marrying. And so those two processes, they've happened independently and together over time. And so we see city after city now saying, hey, we can do shore power. And a lot of times that happens in conjunction with the cruise line. And that's essentially the story that I have for you. We've got a big story coming out of Oslo, Norway, where AIDA Cruise Line has now successfully connected to the shore power there with their cruise ship AIDAluna. There's a debate. Obviously, some people will say it's all just optics, that smoke's going to appear somewhere else in the power generation process. But, here's the deal. Big population centers where these harbors and cruise ports are, they don't want extra pollution in there. And it does help the cruise industry if they can show that they can turn those engines off and not throw that smoke into those areas. As for myself, I say, well done, AIDA and Oslo. Way to make a connection. Cruise news story numero thrice. There was a question in the live stream last night that I didn't know the answer to that magically this morning when I was searching through my cruise news topics, I found the answer. Somebody asked, is Royal Caribbean still going to go to Labadee after the government has issued a new warning against going to Haiti? And at that time in the live show last night, I didn't even know there was a new issuance of a warning. Well, guess what? The US government has issued a new level 4 do not travel to Haiti. It's a renewing of the level 4 that was already there. Essentially, the State Department for the United States, they look at all these places around the world, they assess what's going on there in the country, and they say, hey, Americans, you should go there, you should not go there. Haiti's one of those places they're saying you should not go there. And that kind of comes on the heels. This renewing comes maybe a week or two after Royal Caribbean said, look, stayed out of Haiti long enough. We got Labadee over there waiting for us to come back to so that people can get out there and exskirt and frolic and do all the stuff that people like to do on cruise ships. Their first return is going to be on October the 8th on Adventure of the Seas, and then Freedom of the Seas and Independence of the Seas. They're going to go to Haiti. And from everything that I can tell, they're still going to do that, even though the government has renewed that travel advisory. What I've noticed with these travel advisories is even though they're out there, I feel like if you go look, there's a lot of countries that cruise ships go to that already have do not go there advisories. As travelers, you've got to be cognizant of those things. Go to the State Department website every once in a while. Check out the countries that you're going to. Just get a sense. You're going to find cruise companies going to places that even the State Department says maybe you should not go. So take all that with a grain of salt, if you will. But yeah, it looks like Royal Caribbean gonna go back to Haiti. Now, I gotta tell you this crazy tale of a cruiser who was arrested after her cruise just a few days before Christmas and all of the aftermath of that. But before I do that, let me quickly invite you to subscribe. If you like staying up to date with everything going on in cruising, can you feel the cruising power? Please consider subscribing with the notification bell on. That way you don't miss out on any of these episodes. Okay, well, here's the lady. This is 50-year-old Jennifer Heath Box. And back in December of 2022, she went on a cruise on Royal Caribbean's Harmony of the Seas. And by all accounts, it was a good cruise. The trouble for Jennifer Box occurred when she went to leave that cruise ship after it returned to Fort Lauderdale in Florida. She was exiting the cruise ship. She got to that part of the debarkation day where you scan your cruise card. She scanned her card and she was told that she had been flagged by security and that she needed to be detained. Immediately, she's surrounded by security officers and officers from the Broward County Sheriff Department, and she was told that she was being put under arrest for child endangerment. Now, here's the thing that not everybody knows about cruises. When you go on a cruise, you submit a lot of your information, including your official government-issued ID, all of the information about yourself to make you identifiable. All that information is put into a computer, and while you're on your cruise or before your cruise, that cruise ship manifest is run across law enforcement databases looking for hits of people that have outstanding warrants so that when the cruise is over, law enforcement can sweep in and arrest you. And that's what happened to this lady. However, the warrant that she got arrested on was not her warrant. This arrest warrant was issued by Harris County in Texas for a woman named Jennifer Del Carmen Heath. The lady who got arrested, that's not her name. Her name is Jennifer Heath Box. And the name wasn't the only discrepancy on the warrant. The ages were different. Jennifer Heath Box, 20 plus years older than the lady listed on the warrant. The hair color was different. The eye color was different. The skin tone color was different. But, and this is the thing that really tripped up the sheriff's office, someone had attached Jennifer Heath Box's picture to the warrant. And so even though the descriptors on the warrant nowhere closely matched the person that they were arresting, because they had that picture, they arrested her anyways. And they took her down to jail. They took her to jail and they booked her. It was 3 days before Christmas. She was trying to get home to Houston. One of her sons was being deployed in the military. They took her to jail. They gave her a cavity search. They put her in jail clothes. They put her in a cold jail cell. And her contention is that she was not treated well for those 3 days until they finally figured out that she was the wrong person. And the kicker to all of it is when they figured out that she was the wrong person, they seemed very unsympathetic about it, in her opinion. They just gave her one of those, oh, my bad, it happens, not really being apologetic or anything like that. And well, she did the thing that I feel like she probably should have done. She is suing the Broward County Sheriff's Department. And look, policing's hard. I get it. Policing's hard. But, there's going to be hard parts and there's going to be easy parts. And properly she even gave them their driver's license when she was being booked. They ran her driver's license and said, there's nothing on this lady. Yeah, I bring the story up because first and foremost, it's tragic and we can feel sympathy and hopefully things go well for this lady and she gets what she deserves. But at the same time, it's just a reminder that the cruise lines, the cruising process does involve this, people checking you out. And so, yeah, just be aware, I guess. That's the thing. What do you think about this one? I would love to hear your feedback. Thank you for watching the show today. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit the like button on your way out. There's going to be a recommended video. That would do me good if you did watch it. Hope you guys are having a fantastic Wednesday. This is Tony for La Lido Loca. Until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido. Bye. Cruise News.